What up? This is Yinka Diz,
Peace, this is Outlaw.
and you listen to the 80s Babies podcast.
And on today's episode, we're doing a Make It a Classic for the fourth studio album for
Hey.
UGK. Dirty Money, released November 13th, 2001.
Yo, you got that off the dome. That's crazy.
Well, of course. I mean, I wrote it down. I took some notes.
Yeah, that's what's up.
Let me be a little prepared. Come on,
Nah,
it's been
do
a
your
minute since-
thing. No, for real. So yeah, this is the fourth studio album for UGK. We've done a UGK album before,
We've
Riding
done
Dirty.
two. Remember? Because we also did the Make It a Classic for, was it Kings?
Oh, we
The
did.
double disc,
Underground King.
right?
That's
yeah,
true.
which was an album that we loved, and we were actually kind of apologetic about doing the Make It a Classic for that. But the consensus that we came to is just like, look, it's just too many songs. We don't need a double disc,
Right.
You know what I mean? So it's pretty much just like eliminate the less good songs because most of the album was good,
Right.
But this one's going to be a little bit different.
Yep.
And I think that this is an interesting one because I remember when I brought this up to you, you were not familiar with this record at the time. Now, this was before we did our little hiatus. So this is an episode that's been on the queue for a minute.
Yep.
And so I think back then in 2022, maybe
Man,
2023,
it might even been before that. Yeah.
whenever that was, you had never really heard this album too much. You weren't too familiar. So why don't we go through some of your, I guess, initial thoughts then, now, what you thinking?
Yeah, let me look at the date and try to remember. Okay, so November 2001. Shoot. So I would have been in high school. I would have been in Europe. So that makes sense to just like, I mean, what this was also. Wait, what year was 9/11? That was
9/11 was 2001. Yeah, which is also
so that would have been a few months after 9/11.
Yeah, this would have been a few months after 9/11, and of course, the main album, at least from our purview, would have been Blueprint.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Okay.
New York rap was real big.
Right. It was popping. I feel like I knew who UGK was maybe at this point in time because of probably Big Pimpin' and all that. I don't think I was listening to them at all.
Gotcha.
I do remember this album though because at the time I was an avid reader of Scratch Magazine. And Scratch Magazine would do these kind of like deep dives on albums where they would show you the vinyl cover of like a record that got sampled. Like you know what I mean? Like,
I like that.
like breakdown. And I feel like I remember Dirty Money being in one of these Scratch Magazine issues.
That makes sense.
And that's really the only thing I remember about it. Like I don't remember this joint coming out or anything. Like I don't remember any fanfare. Nobody in Brussels was talking about it for sure.
I hear that.
And I was probably so in my backpack ruckus type of era
As was I.
that it wouldn't have even crossed my radar.
That tracks.
How about you? Where were you?
So this is a very formative album for me. So I didn't actually listen to this album like straight when it came out, but the thing is it comes out my first year in college, and at that point I had not yet started to drink. I didn't start drinking until I turned like 19 in March. Right. So either before I turned 19 or after I turned 19, whatever. It's getting near the end of the first year. And like, we partying. I'm more comfortable with my roommates and that and the other. So, I start to drink a little bit. I go back home and my best friend from back home, Elgin, right? He is from a part of Northern Virginia that is just more into this type of shit than I am. Than where I went to high school. Right? He went to Hayfield. And he's also around cats that went to TC, West Potomac, Mount Vernon. Very much like Black
More
culture,
urban,
more into the go-go culture in DC, PG, Oxon Hill. Like he's just into that crowd.
Right.
And that crowd, the types of artists that they gravitated to when we were in high school wasn't like the Biggie or Jay-Z shit that I was into. Wasn't into the Roots or Black Star, none of that. They were into Scarface. They were into 3 6. They were into Tupac. And they were into UGK.
Right.
All like either like West Coast or Southern shit. The New York stuff, like everybody had respect for Biggie, but it's Tupac. So it's like Tupac and Biggie, sorry Biggie. And like Puff, Mace, fuck y'all. That's some soft shit. You know what I mean? So everybody is into like the types of artists that I just listed. So that summer was like, man, I was out with Elgin like every other weekend going to wherever we would go. And we were, that's like the first summer of me drinking like a lot. And when I was in high school, I used to fucking hate 3 6 Mafia. I hated everything they stood for. I hated the sound. I hated the music, like whatever. until I started drinking, man, all that shit just started to make sense. It all started to make sense to me.
So that happened for you in high school, because I thought that your
No, no,
one was
look,
college.
I'm talking about my first summer. So
Oh,
this is
okay, the summer
2002.
after your first year.
Yes.
Got it.
So I
Okay,
started drinking at the end, and at the end of my first year in college.
okay,
My first summer back was my first summer drinking,
okay.
and this is when Elgin is putting me up on all the shit that he just wants to listen to. I'm not gonna protest, he's driving around.
Right, right.
He's taking me to the spot, so, I'm gonna listen to
Whoever
what he wants.
driving, the radio is
Yeah,
on. That's just a thing.
and so, you know 3-6, Scarface, my homies, even though,
Uh-huh.
Last of a Dying Breed, I think would have actually been the relevant album to come out. That's not what he was listening to. He was still
Yeah,
listening to My
Rhymes.
Homies, which
Okay.
came out in
Because Tupac was
1998.
on it, or
Just whatever.
yeah,
Yeah,
yeah, okay.
and then he was listening to Riding Dirty,
Mhm,
obviously,
mhm.
but then he would listen to Dirty Money.
Okay.
And this music, all of this stuff, like, I was not really into it at first. But, when you first start drinking, it hits you in a certain kind of way, you get in a certain kind of space. And then when you just hit a vibe and shit just starts to make sense. And all of a sudden it's just like, yo, like songs that I was like, man, what the fuck is this? And like
Yeah,
now, after that point, like these are staple songs for me. So
yeah.
it's a very, very formative period in my life. And it's
Mhm.
not just like this music, it's also some of the themes, some of the subject matters,
Okay.
right? And it's not that what
So you were
UGK,
pimping.
it's not just what it's how, like,
Uh-huh.
the way Jay-Z talks about pimping, which we know
Yeah,
Jay-Z is not pimping,
right.
but whatever. The way Jay-Z talks about drugs, the way Jay-Z talks about street life, it's almost as if it's like it's almost like it's like fashion modeling, if that makes sense.
Okay, and what
Like, it's not that he's not from the streets, but, like, the way that he depicts it almost just makes it seem like it's in the movie, like, it's
yeah,
just like,
yeah. I get what you're talking.
like paint by numbers almost. It's
Right.
just I don't know, but
It's like what I was saying about Cashmere Thoughts, where it's like
sure,
I don't
yes,
believe him at
fair,
all,
right,
it's just cute, like, his
yeah.
wordplay is cool, but it's like, "Bro, I don't believe
And it's not that I don't believe that Jay-Z sold drugs, like, no,
it." Yeah,
I know he did, but, like, the way that UGK and 3-6 and the way they talk about everything, it's like, man, like, I feel like y'all really fucking about that shit.
okay, yeah,
So, it just all the things I said about that kind of music that I hated in high school,
mhm,
like, that summer, I had to really, really change how I thought about it.
mhm,
So, this is a very formative period in my life and a very formative album for me, and
mhm,
I do not think this is the best record on in their catalog.
yeah,
It's probably it's probably not even number 2 or 3. You could say that Underground Kings, that is the name of it. That's the double cl
yeah,
yeah. You could say that that album's better. You could say that
mhm,
Super Tight is
Tight is
definitely
better,
better.
yeah,
Riding Dirty obviously
that's
is,
the classic,
yeah. But nevertheless, though, there's some joints on this, and I have a UGK playlist.
mhm,
And on that UGK playlist, there's not one song from Riding Dirty. And I spoke about this when we did the album. Is because when I listen to Riding
you
Dirty,
just put
I
the whole
just
thing
listen
on,
to that album and that's it.
right,
When I wanna listen to singles from that album, I don't just put on those singles. I put on the whole album to just listen to it.
right,
The rest of the time, though, I put on some singles, and there's quite a few singles from this album that are on that UGK playlist.
okay.
So, yeah,
I'm
it
actually kinda surprised that there's no individual songs off Riding Dirty. I mean, I'm
it's
taking us on a tangent, but,
go
like,
ahead.
Diamonds Up Against That Wood, and,
Sure.
like, there's records on there that you would think if you were gonna make a UGK playlist, they would have to make it.
It's just it's something about the only other album that it comes close to for that kind of sensation for me would be, Tribe Called Quest, Midnight Marauders.
Oh my gosh. Which, speaking of which, today is the 32-year anniversary for Midnight Marauders. But
Shout
anyway,
out
go ahead.
to Midnight Marauders, shout out
Yeah.
to Tribe, we did that
Go back and
episode.
check that episode
Yeah,
out,
yeah,
episode
this
49.
I think Carlos was on that, and
Yep,
Panama
and
was on that.
Panama.
That was a good
Yep,
one, that was a good one.
yep. Anyway.
But the thing is that, the reason why that's not the case for Tribe is because I'll still go and listen to Electric Relaxation and
Right,
Award Tour.
right.
But Riding Dirty, though, I did that have any singles on it?
Yeah, One Day, Riding
Those were
Dirty,
singles.
those were released as singles, and I feel like there was one more that was
Alright.
released as a single.
Nevertheless, I didn't hear those singles when they came out, so
Yeah,
there's just something about that album that I'm like, "Nah, if I wanna listen to Diamonds Up Against That Wood." Oddly enough, the only song that would actually probably make a playlist is, like, Good Stuff.
Really?
because it's a part
It is a party
it's
song.
kind of
Yeah.
a part of the album. Like
Okay.
Riding and Dirty is a classic with or without Good Stuff. I happen to really like the song Good Stuff though.
Mm.
You know what I mean? But I feel like that album doesn't need it. So there's just something about it. It's just like the sound's just a little bit off. Plus I love like the fatback band
Yeah,
sample and
yeah.
everything like that.
Uh-huh.
It's dope. So but nevertheless though, like when I listen to that album, I want to listen to the whole thing start to finish and just
Mm.
feel better about my day because that's what happens when I listen to Riding Dirty,
Yeah,
right?
facts.
But that's not necessarily the case for this album. And
Right.
the as high as the highs are, some of the lows are just really, really, really bad.
Yeah, I
But
agree.
nevertheless, though, I think that makes for a really good conversation. So
I agree with that.
that's where I was, and here we are right now.
I agree with that, and I think that you made a really good point. So first of all, we've actually never done this before, right? But we're drinking a whiskey, right? We're drinking a bourbon,
We've done
and
mimosas on the podcast.
but you are really into bourbons. But do
Yeah.
you wanna talk a little bit about,
Oh, we
this particular
can.
bottle just for a second? Give like a little 5-minute spot.
Th
So what was the choice on this one?
This is just Bell Mead. This is just a Bell Mead Reserve bourbon. It's just something that was on my shelf, and that's it.
Yeah,
There's
nothing
nothing really.
special about it?
It's not. It's There's other bottles that I could say more about. This isn't necessarily one of them. This is
Okay.
just one that's like, oh, it's what I will say about the bourbon, right, is
Mhm.
that if I'm really trying to taste something, it's better to have something that's been open for a little bit. Now, you don't want it to just be like in this state for like years and years and years. The flavor is going to eventually dissipate.
Mhm.
But the more oxygenated it is, it's going to taste a little better. So I didn't necessarily want to bring something that hadn't been open before because
Okay.
I wouldn't enjoy it as much.
Right.
But I figure it's like, oh, there's like a decent amount left in here. Like, enjoy it. So
Yeah.
that's what we're doing. We sipping
No,
on
that's
some
what's up.
whiskey, sipping on that, on some brown.
Sipping on some scissor. But yeah,
Yeah.
to your earlier point, it's actually funny because I never really thought about it or contextualized it this way. But I mean, I don't know if you knew this about me, but I didn't
Mhm.
drink in college.
I
And
did know that.
right,
I knew that.
so when a lot of this music that you're talking about, particularly 3 6, I mean, Eva
E
is
for
somebody
Eva.
whose opinion on
Yes.
music I respect a lot.
Yes.
And E was like the first person to really take 3 6 seriously and really try to break it down to
He was
me
right.
and others
He was
about
so
it.
right.
And the funny thing about it is, I always give E his props because to some degree he was a bit ahead of his time in
Yeah.
that he really had an appreciation for Project Pat and Project Pat's
Yeah.
syncopation. And
Yeah.
I think in a way that I did not understand at all. But literally everything that has come out in the last 20 years
Mhm.
is literally just the children of that project that was it Giddy Green or that one album with his face with the do-rag on.
Isn't that
Um
Mr.
Mr. Don't Play.
Yeah.
Everything,
Yeah.
literally
Cheese and dope.
everything that's come out since
Ooh, nothing.
since then.
Actually,
Yeah.
when it gets to the Make It a Classic, I'm gonna
Mhm.
reference that album.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
But so I say that to say like I think the way you were getting into this vibe by,
Mhm.
drinking and helped you to understand this music. I was listening to this music totally sober. And that might also impact maybe the
Okay.
difference between our appreciation for it a little bit.
Well,
And okay.
what I will also say is that I can enjoy this music sober as
Yeah,
well.
for sure.
What that summer taught me to appreciate is that like I don't like a 3 6 Mafia ripoff,
Okay.
but I respect anyone who did it first, anyone who's kind of originator, anyone who set like a template, anyone who did
Yeah.
the groundwork, even if that shit is whack.
Yeah.
So it's like there's a lot of new music out that I don't really fuck with. But the folks who kind of did it first, I respect it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So it's not necessarily for me, but like
Mm.
if you came into the game with your own style and everyone is ripping it off, I think that shit is whack. But
Yeah.
you don't get any heat from me. Like
Yeah. No, that's
you
real.
you
And
know what I
and
mean?
and Pat was definitely an innovator
Patrick
with
is his
flows.
own
And
individual. I call him Patrick, but yeah.
but
Yo,
yeah.
Project Pat is a dude who gets a lot of respect though.
Yeah,
For
at this point, but I
Oh my
feel like
god,
back
yes.
then though,
No,
not
he
from
was
us like New York hip hop
I
nerds,
thought he was a
we
clown.
thought he was a
And I
clown
was
too.
wrong, and I apologize to
Yeah,
Project Pat, and I
yeah,
apologize to any fans of Project Pat.
yeah.
And even though I
I
fuck with a
also
lot of
find it fascinating that isn't he like a minister now?
I don't know.
Yeah, no, it's just
He could
interesting
be.
because like that was a tough barrier for entry to me, and we're doing math episode, y'all, so
It's all
just
good.
just bear with us. But when 3 6 first came out, the seance that they was doing was not gonna work for me.
Mhm.
But they were really into horror movies, and they
Okay.
really they really kind of did their own horrorcore thing. but it's interesting to now watch where, like, they as grown men have kind of a new leaf turned around on
If
all
are we
that
calling it
those
that?
themes.
Juicy J from the new league?
So to some degree, I think he's kinda like the old nigga in the club now, you know, he still makes, like, booty shaking
He
anthems,
does.
but, you know, like, he does it in a way that's like, "Oh, that's your old uncle, like,
That's
just
fair.
making some funny shit,"
Yes.
you know what I mean? Like, it's not like, "Bitch, really get down there," like, you know what I'm saying? Like, he's just playing around, like, it's
Yeah,
like, "Alright,
yeah, yeah.
cool," but yeah, anyway, I don't think that I really settled into 3-6 until the era really where UGK and 3-6 were kinda
Mhm.
collaborating, they were in that same space,
Yeah.
T.I. was also popping,
Mhm.
and they had some great, like, Willie Hutch samples, so, you know,
Yeah, for
the
sure.
I Choose You
Mhm.
joint, the Pop in My Collar, Stay
Mhm.
Fly, like, those
Yeah.
records, I was like, "Oh, like, these niggas are sampling in the
Yeah.
same way that I'm trying to sample and
Yeah,
make
for
records,"
sure.
so, like, I really gained an appreciation for them at that point.
Got you, got you.
But yeah, so back to this one.
Mhm.
So, do you wanna start with the highlights or the lowlights?
Well, should we talk about the critical reception at all?
Sure,
I
let's.
look, when I didn't do a whole lot of research into that aspect of this album,
Mhm.
normally I like to, but there wasn't anything on the Wikipedia. I think some publication gave it 3 stars.
Yeah.
I think it's important to talk about what the streets had to say.
Okay.
And
Yeah.
when I think the simple fact that when I mentioned this album to you, you were kinda unfamiliar with it,
Mhm.
says a lot.
Yeah.
And we were talking about doing this album, we were doing the prep for it, and Panama was just like, "Yeah, that's an album that's completely forgettable." So I'm very curious
Yeah.
what y'all have to say.
Uh-huh.
All I can say is that, that summer, we listened to this album a lot, so I'm
Okay.
sure my mans likes this album, or you
Mhm.
certainly like the songs that he had to play.
Mhm.
Um, I can't speak to well, okay, I had a coworker, she's from Houston, and sometimes we used to just, like, drop random UGK lyrics to each other, and most of the time, it was songs from this album. Either
Okay.
it was "Look at Me" or it was "Woodwill."
Okay.
We would just, like, drop, like, random shit. So,
Mhm.
I feel like maybe if you're from that part of the
That's
country,
a fair
you might
point.
fuck with this album. I don't know. I don't know too many dudes from
I
Houston.
I think, like, literally, we probably should have started the episode, right, with the disclaimer that
That's
says, like,
fair.
right, neither of us are from Houston. We always say this when we talk UGK,
We did
right?
the same thing when we did Riding Dirty
Right,
for
and
sure.
so it's like, you know, in the same way that when we talk about, "Yo, nobody cared about Jay-Z in
Mhm.
1997," or whatever, right? It's like, okay, we're not from New York, so we're
Yeah,
telling you what our perspective is from where we're from. I
right.
assume that probably folks in Houston, you know, have a bit more of an affinity for I mean, they were listening to underground tapes, you know what I'm
Sure,
saying? So,
sure,
like,
sure.
they probably have more of an affinity for something like this than us who are not from that area.
And even if they not a big fan of the entire album, I'm sure that there's songs that they fuck with still.
Right, right.
So,
Yeah,
yeah.
cool.
So I guess we can that's
Wait,
like the
so
critical reception.
yeah, one thing I'll add to the critical reception, right, is that I feel like I try to do a little bit of research on the project,
Mhm.
and the main thing that I kept seeing over and over again was that this shit got pushed back,
Yeah.
right? And
Yeah, that's
so,
right.
it was supposed to come out in '98,
Okay.
and then they had issues with Jive, and then they pushed it, you know, like, pushed it back, pushed it back. So by the
Yeah.
time it came out, I think both parties were kinda over it. Like,
I can see
the
that.
label was over them, and they were over the label,
I can see
and
that.
that may also have something to do with, like, the amount of promotion that this got, the videos, whatever else.
Got you.
Yeah,
That's good to know, though.
yeah.
So, highlights. Why don't you start? What are some of your highlights?
Sure. So,
Or overarching highlights,
yeah,
right?
my overarching highlights, my main one is production.
Mhm.
I generally like the direction of the beats here.
Yeah.
And I think that Pimp C and N.O. Joe, like, I love the two of them together. Like, that
Mhm.
is a tandem that I wish we had way more output from those two.
That's fair.
I would have loved to see, like, in this era of things where Juicy J is almost like kind of become a Yoda of some of the younger producers
Okay.
that,
You talking
like,
about today?
yeah, today.
Yeah, yeah,
That,
yeah,
like
yeah,
Pimp
yeah.
C and N.O. Joe, like, helping younger artists
Okay.
put things together. I would
Alright.
love that. So it's sad that we don't have that.
Right.
But that's my number one highlight. My second one, and I've got three total. My second one is Pimp C as a personality. We talked about this on Riding Dirty, and I'll flip it when I get to my lowlights, right? But, like, I felt like on Riding Dirty, it was the perfect balance of Pimp C's world
Yeah.
and Bun B's
It
world.
was. Yeah, yeah,
And they found perfect production. They balanced each other really well.
yeah.
On this one, I feel like we're squarely in Pimp C's backyard, and sometimes Bun doesn't even sound convincing on tracks. Like, in some tracks, it's like, does Bun even really want to rap on this, or is it just like, "Alright, bro,
No.
like I'll give you a verse because I
I
love
think he's nice on here.
he can."
Lyrically, I think he's nice on here.
But I mean, like, there's certain songs, and I
That's
mean,
fair.
when we get to the body of the album, we'll talk about them. Where
Alright,
I'm just
alright, alright.
like it feels like Bun probably doesn't care about the subject matter on this,
Yeah.
but he'll still contribute because
Yeah.
he's in the group.
Mhm.
But yeah, Pimp C's personality, 100%. And then the last one I have is the features. I feel like generally the features, like they brought it, they cared, we talk about sometimes you hear an album and you're like, these people just they got paid to do something. They didn't
Right, right,
care, they
right,
didn't
right,
want to be
right.
here, but these folks seem like they wanted to be there.
Yeah.
So what highlights do you have?
So my highlights are pretty much the same. From the production from Pimp C in particular, I think is very, very good. Lyrically, I said this before, but I think both B and Pimp C
Yep.
are really good lyrically on here. The features I love, and not just what they brought, but like the selection of features.
Yeah.
I think is very, very good for a UGK album at this time,
Right.
where Riding Dirty only had like a few. And I think that this is at the stage where a lot of our artists they're getting a lot of features, and sometimes they're getting features from all over,
Right.
and they're trying to get big or whatnot.
Right.
And UGK said, "Nah, we're going to stick to what we know. We're going to stick to our realm," and I think it's good. And that the last point is that there's no Jay-Z on here, and I think that's awesome. Now we're not going to get into that. If you know, you know.
If you know, you know.
We've
go
talked
back
about
and
it before.
listen
go back.
to former episodes.
Yeah,
if you wanna
there's
hear
no
about it.
Jay-Z. There's no New York. There's no nothing of that.
Yeah.
So those are my highlights.
Okay. That's what's up.
Why don't we get into your overarching lowlights?
Okay. Overarching low light, I only have two. One is lack of direction.
Yeah. Okay.
It feels like it's kind of all over the place. It does feel like the vibe fits Pimp a little bit more,
Mm-hmm.
but not in a way that says like we're in Pimp's world and Bun is a co-star. It's just like it just happens to sound that way.
That's fair.
And then the last is that it seemed like maybe more than on certain other records, they kind of tried to make like hits or hot records
Yes.
as opposed to just giving us dope shit.
Yeah.
And that's a low light to me.
Yeah. My overarching lowlight is actually N.O. Joe. Now I want to be fair to N.O. Joe because he has positive contributions on this album.
Yeah.
But the lowlights of the lowlights is his production.
Huh.
Yeah.
You mean like the individual joints that he has?
Yeah, the
Here's a couple,
individual
for sure.
joints on here. There's
Yeah.
3 songs that are on here that are absolutely trash. And
I'm gonna be happy to hear this one. Because I thought you liked everything on here. So
no.
Right.
One is the Dupree record, right? That's not a good song.
Dupree?
Yeah.
Jermaine
Dupri record.
Bro.
That's not a good song. That doesn't need to be on here. The other 2 are solely produced by N.O. Joe, and I think that they were trying to do like a contemporary pop, like New York. This is like the New York interpretation of Southern music.
Yeah.
And that's this. I'll just say is Gold Grills and PA Nigga.
Yes.
Right. Those 2 songs, and those are N.O. Joe produced records.
Yes.
So now that being said, though, we love N.O. Joe.
Yeah.
We spoke about this before, and he has good contributions on here. But
in my opinion, he has the best beat on here.
Which one is that?
I mean, I guess I'll spoil it, but Holding Nah.
Oh, you like Holding Nah?
That shit is bro. When that shit came on, I was listening to this the first time.
I'm glad that's a highlight for you.
Years ago, when you told us to listen to this. So let's say this was like almost 5 years ago, right? Like 3 or 4 years ago. I'm listening to this shit and I'm like, why did Outlaw want to do this shit? And then Holding Now comes on, and I'm like, yo, all right, I get it. I fucking get it. This shit is incredible.
So it's just like it's not. He has great production on here, but he also has some bad production on here. So I just want to shout some of those things out.
Okay.
And then, I will say about the direction, I almost wonder if Riding Dirty kind of happenstance his way into having a direction. You know what I mean?
Okay.
I know we're going to talk about that a little bit.
Yeah.
But yes, there's a lack of direction on this album. But if you think about it, it's really no different than Too Hard to Swallow or Super Tight.
Yeah,
it's
that's
just
fair.
like
you might be right. Like they don't necessarily approach albums with a direction. They just happen to kind of have one because that's their style.
Yeah, and
I see what
and to be honest, I actually think a lot of this hip hop music, I think very few of them actually go into the album as like, yo, we're gonna put something together.
That's true.
Right? Like even a lot of music in general.
Yeah.
Like you could think of like the Beach Boys pet sounds, like Brian Wilson intentionally set out to do that shit. Y'all don't know what that is, but whatever. Or something like Kendrick. Kendrick obviously is trying to do something. I would say Outkast did it with actually, they did it with, like, Love Below Speakerbox,
Mhm.
kinda, right?
Okay.
Like, but most of the time, they just going out here just trying to make whatever they in the mood to make.
Yeah.
And it just so happens that they're such musical geniuses that everything comes together, and it's just like this perfect compilation of music, but a lot of
Right.
times, it's just
Yeah.
whatever.
But at the same time, right, like, I don't know that I think that any of these folks are kinda going into it knowing what the vision is probably
Okay.
rare, but I do think, though, that maybe part of the genius of artistry is being able to put a bow on it at the end to
I
say,
agree.
like, "Oh, take these 3 songs and move them because they don't work with this," and you know what I mean?
Which
And
is
make
why you
something
have executive producers.
right,
So,
exactly.
and I would say the last thing for me, this kinda goes with that, is just the general album arrangement is not very good, and I say that because I actually appreciate this album more now than I did then,
Uh-huh.
because the songs that I don't like are so bad that they kinda ruin what I would call, like, the filler of the album, and
Mm,
if you had a better if you remove the bad songs and then you had, like, a couple more, like, really, really good songs, the
yeah.
filler tracks would actually be kinda good.
Mm,
So, we're gonna talk about that when we do the track for track analysis, but,
yeah,
yeah, I just think that the lowlights on this album, the actual song lowlights really, really anchor the album in a way that kinda distracts
yeah,
from it and just has people just not really sitting with this album the way I think they should, the way I did.
yeah, I agree
So,
with that.
yeah, there we go.
Cool. But I will say, I agree that there are some bad songs on here, some real clunkers, but,
Mhm.
like, but we've also heard other albums that had bad songs too, and I think, they didn't do a good enough job of broadcasting the good, right?
Agree,
Like, I
agree.
wish I wish I had heard some of these songs, like, on the radio or in the party or
Mhm.
whatever,
Yeah.
in ways that they just Jive didn't get it out there.
We'll talk
Yeah.
about that for sure.
Okay.
Yeah, so let's get into,
Track
the
for track.
track for track
Mhm.
analysis, right? Alright. So for the first one, we got, Let Me See It. This
Yep.
one is produced by Pimp C and NO Joe.
Yep.
What are your thoughts on this record?
I like the bass line.
Mhm.
I think it can be a little repetitive
Mhm.
at some point, but I mean, I like it. Like it works. It's a good start to the album. What do you think?
I agree, and it's an interesting choice to start the
I
album,
agree.
right? Because if you contrast this with Riding Dirty, first of all, the thing about Riding Dirty is that for however the music sounds, and you could think it's cohesive or not cohesive, we tend to think it's cohesive.
Right.
But one of the things that that album has is they have these little skits of like a person who's in jail, like
Hmm.
talking,
Right.
and it just provides this through line throughout the album
Yep.
that just sound puts everything together very,
Hmm.
very nicely.
Yep.
There's none of that here, and I'm
Yep.
not saying it needs to be here, but if you took if you took one day off of Rock 30, does that album really feel the same? Eh,
Probably not,
it's like
but maybe.
what
I mean,
one day is such like an amazing
it
record,
is.
and it makes you feel something
Hmm.
right away because they're not talking about, like, anything
Some
glamorous. They're
bullshit.
talking
Yeah.
about, like, how precious life is.
Right.
Like, one day it's here, one day it's not, and it's just like, "Oh, okay.
Right.
You're serious."
I actually completely agree with you on
So
this.
now everything else you're talking about, I'm like, "Nah, these cats are
Serious.
serious."
Yeah. Whereas
With
this one, they start on
"Let
bullshit.
me see it, let me see it bend
And
over," and they're
right, right.
like, "So let
But
me see."
I agree with you. It
Yeah,
sets
yeah,
a
yeah.
tone where you're like, "Oh, these
Yes.
niggas on bullshit." Like
Yeah.
from the be
Right, right,
yeah,
right.
that's facts.
So, if when I make it a
That's what I
classic,
said too. Yeah, I said I would not have started with this record.
I think I probably still would.
Oh, wow.
I
Okay.
think I still would, only because I can't really fit it anywhere else, and also, I'm biased by the fact that I've always associated like, whenever we played this album, we would skip to it, but we always played at least the first 3 records,
Okay.
always. So, I always heard Let Me See It, Chop and Blaze, and Look at Me.
Okay.
So, it's, like, burned into my brain, so, like, I
Yeah.
have to when I do my Make It a Classic, like, the start of the album, like, is not changing for me.
Okay. It's
You know what I
like
mean?
that, It Was Written run for me, the intro run. Yeah.
Exactly.
Okay.
Yeah. So, but yes, this is a highlight for me. It's not
Yeah.
the
It's a highlight
highlights
for
of
me too.
highlights, but yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
I like this
Yeah.
record.
I agree with you. It's funny. Your run is my run too. So
Okay.
the first three are all highlights.
Okay.
Yeah, I'll just go straight into two.
Chopping Blade.
Chopping Blades. I like the beat.
Yeah.
My one, I guess, criticism, if you wanna call it that, is like, I just didn't understand why they did E40 song over again.
He has a song with this.
This is Cap
I'm not
this is
biggest fan
Captain Save-A-Ho.
Okay.
Would I, could
Yeah.
I save her?
Oh, yeah,
I
yeah, yeah.
wanna
Okay,
be
okay.
saved.
Oh, okay, okay,
They
okay,
just did
okay,
like a
okay. I
southern
do know that
version of
one,
that.
yeah.
Yeah, so it's like, why did you do that? I don't get why they did It sounds good. I mean, it's
Yeah.
fine, you know, and I feel like they're like Too Short is their man, right?
Yeah.
Like, so I get that they fuck with dudes in the Bay, but, like,
Mhm.
I just didn't even understand why this is a song, but I like it.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I
what you think?
actually don't really have anything else to add other
Yeah,
than Pimp C and Ojo, again, working great.
yeah,
Yeah, I like this, so it goes in my s run to start the album. I think it's
yeah,
good.
yeah. You wanna talk about track 3? Look at Me?
Look at Me is one of my favorite UGK songs
Yeah,
ever. I fucking love this record.
yeah.
Oh my god, I can't say I didn't even have to write anything down about this record.
Well, tell
I
us a little bit more about what you like about it.
It's just it's Pimp C, nigga, what you mean? I got some cocaine and some California weed. Oh my god.
It's
Fell in
such a
love with my
Pimp C
chrome
record.
plated bitch. What? This record is just fire. Like,
Uh,
if I had to play one song for people like, yo,
mhm,
just play UGK record, this is the one I'd probably pick.
yeah,
That's how much I love this record.
yeah, I love it too.
I have 2 highlights on the album, and
Yeah,
this is my first.
and you know what's funny? Like, the subject matter really lends itself to Pimp more than Bun,
Oh, yeah.
and you wouldn't think that Bun would get off on this, right? But Bun goes in on this shit too, though. Like, you know what I mean? It's just a great song.
Oh,
Yeah, he
man.
killed that shit.
Look at me, motherfucker, look at me. Whoa, whoa, whoa. Oh my god, this
Yeah.
record is just so dope.
Nah, this is one of
Yeah,
those, like, Pantheon UGK records, just in that,
for
like,
sure.
yeah, it just gives that feeling and that ethos. Like, I love that first 3 run.
So then we get into, Ain't That a Bitch, and yeah, this is featuring Devin the Dude,
Yeah,
produced by NL Joe.
mhm.
How you feel about this?
It's just okay to me.
I like it
You
though.
like it? Okay,
Yeah,
it's okay.
it I hear what you're saying. I think that when I talked about filler tracks that were kind of brought down by the overall album not being good because of
Mhm.
the anchors on the album, I think that this is one of those tracks. I think that
Mhm.
if you put a song like this on Rhyme Dirty,
Mhm.
you might think even higher of it.
For real, it actually
Yeah,
kinda reminds me of, like, a High Life or something, which
yeah,
we said was like, "Oh, this is, like, cool filler." We don't kinda it could go or it could stay, but it's good filler.
yeah.
I guess my challenge is more so in the production, like,
Mhm.
it's not a super captivating piece production-wise,
Okay,
and I also would have sequenced it differently.
okay.
I thought that Devin the Dude's verse actually really, really went with the topic well, and I
Yes.
might have almost even put him first.
Okay.
Like, he really, really nailed what this song is about. I don't this might have even been a Devin song, right? And then he just gave
That's
it to him.
fair.
I don't know.
That's fair.
But, I would've sequenced this differently, and I would've produced it different.
It is interesting that Bun B takes it in a completely different direction, which I can understand because he's like, "Well, I gotta talk about something I
Right.
feel." You know what I mean? But
Als
nevertheless, it's like, 3 different things. Well, really just 2, because
but also
Pimp C and Devin kinda talk about the same
but
thing.
also the Pimp C verse, the edit makes it difficult to listen
That's
to.
true too.
So
Yeah,
it's like he keeps saying trick, the trick, something with the trick.
yeah,
It's like, yo, all right, this is getting, because of the fact that I know that this is an edit and you're not saying this
yeah.
word, but it's so repetitive, it starts to annoy me. Like it wears on me.
I never understood why this song is edited as well.
So I did some research. I got
Yes,
you on
please.
that one.
Alright, help me out.
Essentially, I guess what happened was they wanted to sample a BB King song. So
Okay.
they sampled this BB King song called Chains and Things. They went to BB King and said, "Hey, can you clear the sample?" And BB King was like, "I don't like all that cussing and shit. Don't cuss on
Alright,
your record." So they had to
interesting,
put an edited version of the song on the album in order to get the song on the album.
interesting.
Yeah,
Good to know.
yeah,
Alright, so now we get into Gold Grill featuring Ball and G, and this one is
yeah.
produced by NO Joe.
Yes, I really don't like this beat, and
No.
I wrote here, I said, "This really just is not my kind of production." I
Mm-mm.
don't hate the song is fine, and I love 8 Ball and MJG,
I do.
but just the beat is it just really, really wears on me. I would do this make this over completely if I were making it a classic.
This song's getting scrapped. Nothing about this song works. I
Oh,
like
you don't
Ball
even
and
like the
G.
lyrics?
I don't need it. There's better
Mm,
lyrics on here on the rest of this album,
mhm,
and even if I were to give it a new beat,
yeah.
I keeping Ball and G on the album, but we're just getting rid of the song.
Yeah, yeah.
I'm so turned off by the beat that it's hard for
Yeah,
me
I
to
don't
even
like it
get
at
into the
all,
lyrics.
at all.
So yeah, this is definitely a low light.
Yeah,
Then we get into PA Nigga.
yeah.
And how you feel about Gold Grills is probably how I feel about PA Nigga. I like
Mm.
the lyrics a
Okay,
lot.
That beat is so
The
distracting, I
beat
can't
is
even
not good.
listen to it, and they, like they feature it, like,
Yeah.
it's just an instrumental for the first 30 seconds, like, "Bro, this is not good, I don't
No.
like this."
This is another one by N.O. Joe.
Mhm.
I like, Pimp C's first verse. I like Bun B's first verse. Bun
Okay.
B kinda comes back with the second, and he's trying to play with the beat,
Mm.
and they, like, switch it up, and they try to, like, time the drums with his cadence, and that shit is whack. We're scrapping
Yeah,
that.
yeah.
But,
I don't know.
yeah, so I
This
I
joint gets scrapped for me.
I like the lyrics.
Yeah,
I wanna do something different with it, and
yeah.
I like the concept as well. It's like, you talk about poor Arthur.
That's what I said, I was
Yeah.
like, "Yo, like, Port Arthur people, please don't beat me up because I don't wanna take away the record
Right,
that's
right.
for where y'all from. Let's just give y'all a record that's a different record from where y'all from because
Yeah.
I did not like this one."
I'd want a better record for PA personally.
Yeah, yeah.
So, like, if that's your city, you want me to think positively of it, like, give me let's give a better song for
Yeah,
y'all.
I agree.
So, yeah.
Yeah.
But then we get into, Holden, featuring C Note. This one is produced by N.O. Joe. This is one of his
Bro,
better ones.
I wrote, "Holy shit."
Yeah.
Bro, when this I was in the car when I first heard this, right, I was
Oh my
like,
god, that's why you
"Wait,
wanna hear it.
what?
Yeah.
Oh my this beat is so hard, bro. This is my favorite beat on here. It's
Okay.
it's it's amazing. This is my highlight of highlights just
Alright.
because of how much I love this
Alright.
beat. I feel like the C note verse, I guess,
Mhm.
I'm just okay on,
Okay.
but this is it. This the one for
It's not a highlight of highlights for me, but it's
me.
certainly a highlight for me. Obviously, when we do the Make It a Classic, it makes the cut.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's dope.
It sounds
And
so good.
Bun B is
Yeah.
good on it, Pimp is good on it, like, it's just
Yeah.
yeah, it's a dope record
Yeah,
for me.
yo, this is one of the ones we want to edit in so y'all can hear this beat. This beat is insane.
Yeah.
But yeah, all right, next joint.
So Don't Say Shit, this one's featuring Big Gip
Mhm.
and, is produced by Pimp C. How you feel about it?
I just don't love the beat. It's fine.
It's fine.
Yeah,
This is, again, one of those filler tracks.
yeah,
I think it's fine.
yeah,
The hook is cool.
yeah,
And Pimp C and Bun are good on it. Gip is Gip.
yeah, yeah.
You know what I
I
mean?
agree.
So it's cool.
Yeah,
Don't hate it. Yeah.
yeah, it's just
It's
fine.
fine. It's fine. Not
Yeah,
not every single record has to be a highlight.
right.
Alright. So then we get into Dirty Money featuring Pimp C. Or
Yeah.
excuse me, Dirty Money produced by Pimp C.
I've got N.O. Joe as the producer here.
Oh, I had it as Pimp C. Is
Yeah,
it N.O. Joe?
I think it's N.O. Joe.
Oh, whoever.
And I said the beat is just alright to me.
Mhm.
Like, it starts to get boring
Mhm.
to the point where maybe like if I were to redo this, I would give it like a beat switch or something. Like I'm
Okay.
okay with what's there, but after a while it gets boring. What do you think?
I like this record, and I like it because it's the titular track. Now, we've spoken about this before, where if you're gonna have a titular track on the album, it can't be the best record on the album.
Mhm.
But it also needs to do something that subject matter-wise really tries to
Stands
capture
out.
the
I
album, and I
agree.
think
I
it does
agree.
that. I think
Okay.
the hook is great. I think Bun B and Pimp C, again, on here, they're good.
Yeah.
So it's just like, do I need it to be the best record on the album? No, but the way that I like to think about these music, the way I like to think about these albums and how everything comes together, I'm
Mhm.
fine with it if this is just an okay beat.
Yeah.
If everything else is coming together well, like in an ideal world, the rest of the album would come together to the point where it's just like, this doesn't have to be an amazing song for you
Right.
to still not skip it. For
Yeah.
when it comes on, you enjoy it in the context of everything else.
Yeah.
So you
I
may not
agree with
if
that.
you can't do that, it's not this record's fault. It's the
I
entirety
agree
of the
with that.
album.
I
Yeah.
think though that in order for it to do what you're saying
Mhm.
well to
You
me,
think it needs a better beat?
yeah,
Okay.
because I think if I were listening to this album, the album that you're talking about, right? Let's say
Yeah.
this song was in the middle of Riding Dirty, and Riding Dirty was Dirty Money.
Mhm.
Um, at some point, I would skip. I'd probably listen to maybe the first minute or minute and a half of the song, and then eventually I would skip. I think in order for it to do what you're saying well, it would need to be good enough that I could
Okay.
just leave it on without changing to the next song.
That is fair. It is one of the weaker beats on here, but it at least sounds like it belongs on the album.
That's true.
And like I said, thematically, the hook, the lyrics, they're good.
Yeah,
So I'm good with the record, but I think what you're saying is valid. Musically, it could definitely be stronger.
yeah,
No doubt. No
yeah.
doubt. Um, but it's not a low light for me. Is it a low light for you?
Nope.
Okay.
I
So
think my lowlights are the same as yours.
we have the 3?
The
I
3.
got
Yeah,
you.
those are my only lowlights.
So now we have Like a Pimp featuring Juicy J and DJ Paul. This one is produced by Pimp C. You had that right, Pimp C?
Yeah.
I should not like this song,
Mhm.
but I do.
Really?
I
Why
do
should you
like
not
this
like
song
it?
because I like it when first of all, you got to thinking in the master plan. So, like, Rakim
Exactly.
is referenced twice on this. He's referenced on an earlier song as well.
Mhm.
I just kinda like that, and it kinda has that vibe. I don't like the placement of this record. I'd place it elsewhere,
Okay.
and I probably wouldn't have, Juicy J or DJ Paul on here, even though I like their verses. I like them
Okay.
both.
Yeah.
But there's just something about this, like,
I think the beat is too close to the Rakim joint. Like,
maybe.
yeah, like, I kinda wish they did something that gave it more of a, like, "This is our take," versus just like, "Oh, we love Rakim, this is our Rakim homage," and then, like a Pimp, but it's Rakim, I don't know. It was just alright.
For me, the problem is the placement.
Okay,
When I do my make it a classic, I will place it where it makes more sense.
okay.
But generally speaking, though, I kinda like the vibe. I really like the hook on it as well. Like I said,
Yeah,
I feel like I shouldn't like this song, but I do.
yeah,
Yeah, it's so, yeah, it's a highlight for me. Even though I
yeah.
don't like the placement, I think it's awkwardly timed, but
Mhm,
I still like it. And it's also awkwardly timed because the next one is Pimpin' Ain't No Illusion, which is
mhm.
definitely a highlight for me. I don't know
Yeah.
how you feel about it.
It's not a highlight for me,
Okay.
but I like it.
Yeah,
Yeah, it's cool.
I really like who is it? Cool Ace? Is he the
Cool
one on the
Ace.
hook? Or is
Yeah,
Pimp
I think
yeah.
he's on the hook.
He his verse is good, his hook is great.
Yeah,
Obviously, you're gonna close out the track with Too Short,
right.
which makes all the sense.
Mhm.
Yeah, again, you have Like a Pimp followed so closely by Pimpin' Ain't No Illusion, even though, like, Pimp C is Pimp,
Mhm.
and, they talking about pimping, I still think it's just too closely
Yeah, no, I feel
arranged.
you.
But
Spread it out a little bit.
this sounds more like the rest of the album.
Mhm.
Like a Pimp is kind of, like, out there a little bit.
Yeah,
So yeah, so this is a highlight for me. I like this
yeah,
one.
yeah.
Um, yeah, it's just a perfect blend of all the ingredients that they chose.
Right,
So yeah. So then we have Take It Off. Now this one is featuring excuse me, this one is produced by Pimp C,
right.
and this is a bonus track.
Yeah, I thought that was interesting that
So
they had that.
so are we saying that Pimpin' Ain't No Illusion is technically the last track on the album? Like,
Yes.
okay, so always weird how they decide to do these bonus
Alright.
tracks. This one makes sense because this one came I think this is on the Corruptor
It was on the
soundtrack,
Corruptor
which
soundtrack.
came
Yep,
out in 1999,
yep.
and, Take It Off is a pretty big UGK record, if I'm not
Yeah.
mistaken. Yeah.
So, I don't know if you remember this, but actually Take It Off is the precursor to Like a Pimp, David Banner
Yes. Yeah,
and
yeah,
song,
yeah.
right? So, that's where Real Girls Get Down
Down
on
on the
the Floor
Flow.
comes
Yeah,
from.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
They took Like a Pimp, which was the name of a song, another song on this album,
Mhm.
and this song, and they turned it into the newer version of Like a Pimp.
Right.
But yeah, it was featured on a Corruptor soundtrack, and there's a music video for it
That
that's,
I've not seen.
and it's like you know how they used to do those videos in the '90s? They did it for the Belly soundtrack as well, where it's like clips from the movie,
Yeah,
and then
yeah,
the
yeah, yeah.
artist is kinda spliced in between them.
Mhm.
That they did a video like that
Okay.
for Pimp C, on this joint. So yeah, I like this song. This is a
I
highlight
like
for
this
me.
song, yeah.
Yeah.
Generally, I like this song. I don't need it on this album. I will say
Okay.
that. Yeah, but I
I
do
think
like this
it's
song.
one of the stronger songs on the album, maybe. So I would keep it.
The
I
the
don't know why it says bonus track. Maybe it's just because 'cause it's been featured already on something.
the thing for me is that, like, because I first heard this song actually not a part of this album, I heard
Okay.
it, like, separately,
Uh-huh.
it 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 feels I guess, older than this
Okay.
album, and so it
Got it.
kinda feels out of place for me,
Yeah.
so but I do like this song, like, I think
Yeah.
it's a good record,
Yeah.
obviously. Next we have, Woodwill, and this one is produced by Pimp C and Bido? I
Yeah.
don't know who
C
that is.
Beto. Yeah, I don't
Beto.
know.
Um, Highlight of Highlights number 2.
Really?
Love this record.
I mean, Woodwill is
Love
this
this.
is like in the pantheon of UGK records.
Love
And I
this
think
record.
this is the song that people do actually remember from this album,
Okay.
which is weird because it's a bonus track.
It is a bonus track. I don't know why it's a bonus track.
Yeah.
I think that its only release was on this record, so I don't know why it's a bonus track, but
Mhm.
this song, the beat is amazing, both lyrically, Bun B and Pimp C are
Agreed.
amazing, the hook is good, and also, like, they're going back and forth, so
Mhm.
when Pimp C ends his verse, Bun B is picking it up
Yep.
there, and that's such, like, a good, like, hip hop thing to
Yeah.
do, so for them to do that on this record is just great. Can't
Agreed.
say enough good things about it other than,
Same.
like, yeah, this
This
song
is
is awesome.
highlights number 2 for me. I
Okay.
really, really love this song too.
Yeah,
This is one of the ones that stays for me.
for sure, for sure.
Yeah.
And then we have Money Hoes Power and Power featuring Jermaine Dupri. This one is produced by Jermaine
Jermaine
Dupri and
Brian Michael Cox.
I don't know who that is.
Yeah,
Who's that?
he's an R&B producer. He's pretty big. Him and Jermaine Dupri do a lot of stuff together.
Yeah, this song is not good.
Yeah,
And
I
I don't know why it's on
agree.
the album.
I agree. I love both of them, and especially when they do their R&B stuff. But this is not it at all.
No, it's not it.
Yeah, they shouldn't have put this on here. But I think in the early 2000s, right? Jermaine Dupri's killing it. He's doing his thing.
I
I
get
get
it.
why you want him, but get him to do a remix. He was killing remixes in the 2000s. So get him to do a remix of another song and put it somewhere else. I don't need to hear this. This is not good.
I like what you said there, though, because I
Mhm.
think that is actually a strategy that I thought about implementing for this album.
Okay.
Because there were certain songs that I kind of wanted on here, but I'm like, to be honest, aesthetically, it doesn't make sense. But if you release like a single on another project with
Right.
UGK featured around at the same time as this album, that does something to like kind of create
Like a buzz hype.
yeah, like a buzz, like it adds to like the mythos of this album.
Yeah, that's
Because it's not just like UGK in this album, it's UGK in this moment.
yeah.
You know what I mean? Like
That's true.
Ludacris was great for that
Mhm.
because it's not just like back for the first time or word of mouth. It's all the features he was on.
Yeah, that's true.
You know?
Yeah.
So something like that I think would also go a
Yeah.
long way towards making this a classic. But that was
Right.
that was an album I thought that was an avenue I thought about taking
Yeah.
for certain records. But
And then also it's like, you got Money Ain't a Thing, which is the Jay-Z and
yeah.
him thing, and then
But that was
Money
like
Cash Ho
98, right?
yeah, and then Money Cash Hoes, that's around that same time, and then now you're
Yeah.
Money, Hoes, and Power, and Jermaine Dupri, this wasn't it for me.
Nah.
But yeah, you wanna go into make it a classic, or did you have other comments about the body of the album?
I don't have any other comments about the album.
Okay.
So unless you do, we can start
Nope.
with your Make It a Classic.
Sure, let's do it.
Yeah.
Alright, so I wrote here, actually, I considered making this a Pimp C solo album.
Okay, I can see that. I
yeah,
had not thought about that, but it makes sense.
just because of how in his lane this particular project is.
Mhm.
However, we're not gonna do that. I think the records that I like on this project lean towards the pimpin' subject matter.
Okay.
So what I'm gonna do here is I'm largely gonna just use what's here,
Mhm.
but just maybe make some tweaks to it and how it's marketed.
Okay. See, I
So,
like that because
yeah,
that lets you know that the foundation, the bones of the album
I
are
think
kind of
so.
there.
I think they're there.
Yeah.
But yeah, so this album is gonna be co-executive produced by 4 people. So still Pimp C and N.O. Joe,
Okay.
but they're joined by DJ Paul and Juicy J.
Interesting.
And
Okay.
here's why. DJ Paul and Juicy J, as I mentioned, in this time frame where I started to like them, they were really good at selecting like this like kind of Memphis stacks soul sample type of shit in a way that I wanted this album to have more of.
Okay.
And so I want this to be more soulful, more musical on certain records. So those are my 4 kind of co-executive producers. They're all working together.
Such an interesting choice. Why not just DJ Paul?
I don't know.
Okay.
I like them as a tandem.
But even
DJ Paul
Juicy
and
J
Juicy J.
at the time, was he doing a lot of the production work?
I wouldn't say a lot, but I think they were doing so much stuff in tandem that I don't know if I entirely know where DJ Paul starts and Juicy J ends. Like they kind of were doing stuff together.
So I'm looking at the credits for Mr. Don't Play, which is Project Pat's album from 2001. Basically came out same year, and it's saying all music is composed by DJ Paul and Juicy J. Yeah. So that's fine. I had always assumed that it was mostly DJ Paul back then.
Yeah.
But okay.
Yeah,
DJ Paul and Juicy J. All right, I get it.
But so here's my concept. My concept is actually that this is going to be their Streets is Watching soundtrack. So basically this album becomes the soundtrack to a movie. The movie is a Blaxploitation movie.
I had not thought about that, but that's why we do the content, like make it a classic so that we can put our off the wall ideas and we can discuss them. I love it. Go ahead.
It's a Blaxploitation movie.
Okay.
Pimp C, it's almost like a spy versus spy. Pimp C is the main anti-hero. He is a pimp in the vein of Shaft or any of these niggas, right? And he's doing his pimp shit or whatever. And that's why like a lot of these songs make sense, right? Like Take It Off makes sense. Like, like even like a pimp, pimping, illusion. Like So these are
Look at
the
Me is like when he's walking in, like his
right,
intro
right.
music. Yeah.
So these are all like songs that are like, and they get videos in the same way Streets
Yeah,
is
okay.
Watching had
Alright.
videos.
Alright.
And then I guess, I haven't really fully fleshed out the Bun B half of this, right?
That's
But like,
fine. He did
I
though.
think Bun B maybe becomes like his arch nemesis. And so, like kind of on some spy versus spy shit.
Nah,
Mhm,
Bun B needs to be the straight man to like foil Pimp C. So it's like,
mhm,
so think of like the buddy cop that
uh-huh.
the buddy cop like archetype of a movie.
Okay.
They don't necessarily have to be two cops. Sometimes it's like your straight
Mhm.
man who ends up working with someone like they start off as like as opposites, but they end up having
But
like
see,
the same. Oh,
that's what I
okay,
was gonna
okay,
say
okay,
is
okay,
that
okay.
Bun B's like the cop. Like
Yeah, oh yeah,
he's
yeah.
the nigga who's trying to take Pimp C down. Pimp
Okay.
C is like the anti-hero,
All right, all
and
right,
then
all
Bun
right.
B is the guy against him. That's
Mhm.
what I was trying to say. But yeah.
Okay.
So yeah, anyway, so they're doing this movie, they're doing this stuff, and it's a whole Blaxploitation movie, which
Right.
I don't know if this ever got fully executed, but I want to nod to Megan Thee Stallion
Mhm.
because that one album that we liked,
Her
to where
debut.
she was Tina Snow. No, it was like she had a project called Fever, and she had a alter ego called Tina Snow, which was supposed to be a pimp that was supposed to be influenced by Pimp C's persona.
So, okay, is that the one that we covered?
Yeah, we did. We
If we
talked about
covered
it,
that,
and we liked it.
okay, I remember covering an album from Meg Thee Stallion that I
Yeah,
liked.
yeah, it was that one.
Okay, all
And
right,
but
cool.
but the whole deal
That
was,
wasn't
and I
her
don't know if
debut?
nah,
I thought it was her debut album. Before that, she had like LPs or mixtapes or whatever. I could be
that's
wrong.
possible.
I could
I
be
don't
wrong.
know.
All right,
I think
whatever.
she
Go
had an
ahead.
album for that. But anyway, so she had
Juicy,
this project.
Juicy J is on that as like
Yes.
as like a producer. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
So she had a project, and I don't know if they ever really did like a movie about it, or if it was just like that was just kind of the concept where she was this character called Tina Snow that was a pimp.
Okay.
So like I want to do that, but I want to do the whole this as a real concept where there's a movie, and it doesn't have to be long. Like it can be like Streets is Watching, which is just a bunch of little music videos that tell a story that for the album, and
Okay.
then the album accompanies it. And then the production is handled by those four. So I'll go through the joint and just tell you which ones I'm keeping and
Okay.
what gets saved. Right.
All
So Let Me See It is gonna stay.
right. Okay.
Chopping Blades is gonna
Yeah.
stay. Now what I will do though with the intro, I want an intro that's a little bit more cinematic and stuff like that kind of introduces the theme and all that other stuff. I don't think Let Me See It is the right like walk in, but that's
Okay.
just what I'm thinking.
It could be.
So this run is the same, right? It doesn't change. The only thing I changed with Chopping Blades is I feature E40 because why did you take his song?
That's
Okay,
fair.
let's just put
Yeah.
E40 on the shit. Um, and then Ain't That a Bitch? I have DJ Paul and Juicy J remake this beat.
All right.
I want this to
I
be
like
more
that change
soulful,
actually.
and I wouldn't even mind. And not to say that Devin the Dude sounds bad on the hook; he sounds fine. But in this time frame, I feel like Juicy J and DJ Paul had actually met Willie Hutch and were like collaborating with him.
Mm.
So to have Willie Hutch on the hook would have been
That would have been crazy.
amazing.
All right,
Yeah.
yo, you okay? You did some homework for this. All right, let's go. Let's go.
So featuring Willie Hutch, Gold Grill again. I'm trying not to completely remove this particular song because I like the 8 Ball and MJG
I like
piece.
them.
I just want a completely different beat. So
Okay.
DJ Paul, Juicy J, come in here, switch this up.
Okay.
Yeah. So the verses are fine. I like who's on there. That's cool.
All right.
PA nigga, I could not save that.
All right.
You I think you like it
I
better.
save
Maybe
it.
we
Yeah, I
maybe
save it.
we do something with the beat and we fix it. But I hate this beat so much that I don't even think I've really listened to this song already.
That's how I feel about Go Girls.
Yeah. Okay.
So
yeah.
yeah.
Go Girl,
but
at least that you got 8 Ball on MJG, so you want to hear
I
what they
put
got
them
to say.
elsewhere on the album as well.
Okay.
But
Yeah, I haven't done that yet. Okay, Holding Nah, I this is fucking incredible. The only thing I can think of is in this time frame there were some Texas niggas that I was familiar with that were collaborating with folks now.
Mhm.
So I'm gonna go ahead and go back to the top and give my disclaimer. Houston niggas, I'm not from where y'all from.
Yeah.
I don't know who got beef with who. I don't know who shot who, baby daddy.
I
like,
was curious about that.
yeah, I don't know if niggas like niggas, but let's just assume niggas like niggas.
Yeah.
All right. So Lil Kiki was popping in this time frame
Okay.
and from Houston. And I feel like I remember his voice, and his voice would be dope on Holding Nah.
Okay.
So, I mean, that Sino verse is fine. I wouldn't mind if they removed it and put Lil Kiki, but like I want Lil Kiki on this beat.
Okay.
Don't Say Shit was fine. I feel like I would want DJ Paul and Juicy J to jazz up this beat a little bit just to make it a little more soulful.
Okay.
Like a Pimp, I felt like I wanted Too Short on this instead of Pimpin' Ain't No Illusion
Really?
because of the way his voice is
I
and the
could see
beat.
that. I could see
So
that.
what I did here is I put Too Short on this one,
Mm,
and then on Pimpin' Ain't No Illusion, I put Sugar Free where Too Short is. Because Sugar
interesting.
Free is a pimp too, and he can talk this pimping kin shit. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, that's what I got.
Your joint might be better than mine. I ain't gonna lie. Go ahead, keep going, keep
All
going.
right. Take it off. Again, this already sounds like 3 6 produced it. So
Mhm.
I wouldn't even change it. I just make it a part of the actual album.
Okay.
And then, Woodwill, what can you do to Woodwill? Woodwill is
You ain't
great.
gotta do nothing
The
with
only
that.
thing I can think of, and this might be a bonus cut, I would like Zero's voice on this. Again, I'm trying to stay in this Houston
Okay.
lane. So I would either add Zero or I would make a bonus cut that's a remix of this that has Zero on it.
I could see that, but you
Woodwill
don't.
is so important in their canon that I probably wouldn't
Yeah,
want to
the
change it.
chemistry with the
Yeah,
that's
you're
it's
right.
hard to add
You're right.
anything, even on a remix, it's
Yeah.
hard.
Yeah,
Yeah.
maybe. But I would love Zero. I would love to hear what Zero sounds like on this. And
Okay,
y'all in the comments, if there is some because these niggas be freestyling in Houston.
that's true.
If there's a Zero version of this shit, send it to us. I would love to hear it. Money Hose in Power gets the fuck
Yeah,
out of here. This shit is
facts.
awful.
Yeah.
Take it away.
Okay.
Jermaine, I love you. Brian Michael Cox, I love y'all. Do a remix. Let's just pick one of these songs. Like, just pick one. Like, do Gold Grill. Do your own remix of it and put it on Life in 1472 Part 2 or something. But this song is not good, and it's the only one that actually absolutely has to get removed to me.
Okay.
So that's my joint, my Blaxploitation film.
I have to say, I am surprised in the best way imaginable. I thought I was gonna crush you on this, and I gotta say, that I like it.
That's
I
what's
like
up.
it.
I'm glad.
I'm not saying I haven't liked them in the past, but I'm like,
Yeah.
now I might be kind of embarrassed about what I thought would
We
make
can
such a
collaborate. You can
classic.
you can pull in some of the ideas from that one on yours as well.
All right, so I don't have any Blaxploitation flick. For
Okay.
me, I think that there's a few guest artists that are not here that should be here
Okay.
who've collaborated with UGK in the past.
Right.
There's obviously a big name. I mean, Scarface.
Yeah.
You
I
know what I
actually was
mean?
surprised that he wasn't on
Like,
the body here, and I threw him on one joint, and then I took him off because I feel like this is a pretty good album, like you said. But
well,
yeah.
the
So where'd you wanna put him?
I'll get to that.
Okay.
My thing is that it's like I said with Riding Dirty, right?
Mm,
I think if you take out One Day, it's not that the album isn't great, but One Day, where it is in the album, it's such a serious song.
right.
Like, for like, if anybody were to just, like, doesn't really care about hip hop, were just to, like, listen to a lot of these records, they'd be like, "What is this silly crap that they're talking about?"
Right.
You couldn't say that about One Day.
True.
Even though they're taking the is a, is the Isley
Mhm.
Brothers sample, right, for
Yeah.
that? Even though they're taking that sample, like, it's just such a, like, a serious, well put together, well thought out piece of music that, like, you can't knock it.
Yep.
It hits at the very intro of the album, and it just puts you in the tone for the rest of the album.
Yep.
And I think that that matters. Now, that's not gonna happen here. I still wanna start out with "Let Me See It,"
Okay.
but I do think that there are certain records that you could put onto this and remove other ones that would give this, like, a serious feel to it,
Okay.
a more serious feel. So, and you could just, like, they're just like the hinge, if you will, just like
Yeah.
the pivotal tracks.
Right.
So that's kinda what I wanna add. So
Okay.
my start, though, is gonna be the same. We're
Okay.
gonna start off with "Let Me See It,"
Mhm.
"Chopping Blades," and "Look at Me,"
Mhm.
right? And actually, "Ain't That a Bitch" featuring Devin the Dude is gonna stay there as well.
Okay.
I don't mind your idea about DJ Paul and Juicy J.
Mhm.
I get it that the song could be spruced up, but I kinda I'm fine with leaving it as is.
Yeah. It's
I
not
th
bad.
Yeah, I just think that I think with the direction that you're going, it makes sense, but
Mhm.
for me, I don't think it's something that needs to change. Like I said, I think that if you improve the album overall and you have the song on here, you don't mind it, and it's one of
Yeah.
those songs that because the album is good overall, you end up listening to it over and over and over again,
Right.
and you just grow to like it. So
Yeah.
I think that "Ain't That a Bitch," it has that quality to it.
Mhm.
So then I'm getting to my Scarface feature.
Okay.
and I want blues Scarface,
Okay.
right? You
Yeah.
know what blues Scarface is, right?
Right.
If there's one hip hop artist ever that you had to say like who represents the blues more than anyone else, it's Scarface,
Right.
and that's it.
Yeah.
That's the list, right?
Yeah.
I want blues Scarface on here. Now, who's gonna produce it? I will be fine with Pimp C or NO Joe.
Mhm.
Excuse me, Pimp C and NO Joe if they
Mhm.
want to do that. If Scarface has someone else in mind, he could do that.
You know, Scarface also makes a lot of his own shit, so he could be a
We
part of it.
we could do
Yeah.
something like that.
Yeah.
I thought about going something rather far out.
Okay.
I thought about Daz Dillinger.
Huh. Okay.
I think he's produced records for them in the past that have worked. It's
Yeah.
not necessarily the same field, but he can do it.
He can.
And I think in that time, especially, like a song that comes to mind. Are you familiar with the song "I Love" with this guy Too Short? It's a Too Short track produced by Daz Dillinger. Daz is on it with
Mhm.
Scarface and Trick Daddy.
Okay, I not off the
They
top of
they
my head,
talk
no.
about, like,
Okay.
getting their dick sucked and shit,
Right,
whatever, right?
right.
It's not necessarily the feel that I want, but it lets me know that Daz can do something like
Yeah,
this.
he
So
can.
I thought about Daz, but
Okay.
I don't know who's gonna produce this track. It needs to be Blue Scarface talking about something for real.
Okay.
They can even talk about, like on, what is the record? I think it's, hold on, let me, um Don't Say Shit. That's the one where Pimp C talks about like, oh, y'all talk about like why you had to wait on the albums because like the white folks had to get my paperwork together, some shit like that. Like
Okay.
he mentions the fact that he had to deal with some
Yeah,
legal
legal
stuff.
shit.
You could even talk about like how like the legal system is holding you back from what you want to do, whatever. Like you could talk
Right,
about some real shit if you want to.
right.
Um Bun B would love to do something like that. Obviously, Pimp C has that in his locker.
Yep.
So have Scarface on there. If it's Pimp C and NO Joe collaborating, Scarface, whatever, make that work.
Uh-huh.
And if Daz can somehow contribute to it, I think that'd
Yeah.
be cool.
Nah, that'd be dope.
So then we have PA Nigga. This one is going to be produced by Pimp C,
Okay.
and I want his Pimp C ness on
Mhm,
this.
mhm.
I don't need the last few verses from Bun B, whatever. I don't need that. Give me an up and coming artist from Port Arthur. I don't care if
That
he's
would be
whack.
fly.
I don't care
Yeah,
how bad he is, whatever. Just give me someone who's up and coming from Port
that
Arthur
would be
that you
super
want to
dope.
put on,
That would be
and they're
super
gonna
dope.
close out this track,
Yeah, that
right?
would be fly.
So give me that. Then we have Dirty Money. Like I said, I'm cool with this track, so I'm keeping it as is.
Mhm.
Then we have Don't Say Shit. And I respect Big Gip, but he's gone. This is where I'm putting Ball and G.
Okay.
Yeah. So
Fair. Yeah,
yeah.
because they would make it more like, because I mean, Gip is on here, but you don't even really know that Gip's on, like, you know what I mean? He doesn't
Yeah.
really make it his.
So, like I said, I'm taking Gold Grills is gone,
Mhm.
but I
Ball
wanna
and
keep
G.
Ball and G, and they're coming on Don't Say Shit.
Okay,
So, then I got, Pimpin' Ain't No Illusion, and I'm keeping this track as is, although
okay.
the sugar-free edition is not it's not a bad one.
Yeah.
Yeah, I respect that. So then I've got an Organized Noise feature.
I like that.
Yeah.
I like that.
So it's tricky because Organized Noise kind of started to fall off around 2000, right?
Mm.
Like they have some production credits on Stankonia.
Mhm,
They're, Fresh So Clean
mhm.
is Organized Noise.
Okay.
Um, it's not like AT Aliens, Equimini, Organized Noise, TLC Waterfalls is not there, but like
Mhm.
I feel like they still have enough in their bag that they can give me something. And I've done a little cheating, but I don't care. I'm gonna do it twice.
Okay,
This is the first time. I'm gonna take essentially a song from another album and I'm gonna take it off of that and we'll put it on this one.
okay.
So Bubba Sparks' Deliverance. I'm
Mm.
taking Like It or Not.
I don't even remember that song. Which one is that?
Um should we try to play it real quick? We can edit
Okay.
this out if you want
Yeah.
to. Find Like It or Not from Bubba Sparks'
Alright.
Deliverance. From the podcast, this will get edited out, but on the video
Mhm.
feed, you'll still see this bit.
Yeah. Alright. Like it or not.
Oh, we got the ad still.
Yeah, man.
Look,
I ain't paid
17
like you,
$17
brother.
a month for Spotify now?
I ain't paid like you, brother.
Oh, just yes, and I want Sleepy Brown on this.
Ooh. I could definitely hear Pimp on this shit. And Organized Noise of this beat?
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
Alright, so
Yeah.
I want to take this track and I don't need like word for word from Sleepy Brown, but I want Sleepy Brown on the hook for sure.
Mhm.
I like the melody that he's delivering on this for sure.
Yeah.
And I want the beat of that. Now, if we need to add some things to it, like adjust the pitch a little bit
Mhm.
or adjust the drums a little bit to make sure that it's up to Pimp C standards,
Mhm.
we can do that. But that's actually something that could potentially even be a bit of like a party record.
Okay.
You know what I mean? And so, but I think, when you have Snoopy Brown on there, Pimp C on there, he could even be like contributing to the hook a little bit.
Okay.
That's kind of what I want. So I wanted my organized noise feature. So even though we took Big Gip out of it, we
Mhm.
still get Atlanta in here.
That's true.
Right. So boom, that's what we got. Um,
Uh,
we're gonna come back with Holding featuring C Note.
Hold it nah.
And I'm cool with C Note being on here.
Okay.
I forgot what was your suggestion for that one?
I think either took C Note off or I made him split with, Lil Kiki. I wanted Lil
Yeah, you
Kiki on
just
that
said
joint.
Lil
Yeah.
Kiki. I'm fine with C Note though. So
Okay.
yeah, like I'm good with the song just as it is.
Yep.
Then after that, I thought about having like a Bangladesh feature with Ludacris,
Huh.
or like a
Okay.
Bangladesh production with Ludacris.
Okay.
But they already have that for Stick 'Em Up,
Okay.
right? Which is on the Back for the First Time record.
Okay.
So I said before about like how sometimes you could add to like the mythos or of an album by doing something elsewhere.
Uh-huh.
And maybe you have like a video for Stick 'Em Up. It's like a late video, whatever. But I'm not sure if that song is even good enough on Back for the First Time
Okay.
to do that. But I don't know. I thought
You
about,
just wanted them to have, like, the look because, Luda's big at the time?
well,
Or
UGK is on Stick 'Em Up. You know what I
that's what I'm
mean?
asking.
Yeah, so I thought about it, but I was
Yeah.
like, I'm trying to think of ways where you could have like important records that like
Okay.
make you pay attention to the album.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
thought about that. The only thing I can really think of is like actually just like have like a video for Stick 'Em Up
Mhm.
that comes out close to like the release of this.
Got you.
I think Back for the First Time is released at the end of 2000, but they had singles releasing all through 2001. So maybe you could do something like that, but I
Right.
don't know.
Okay.
This is where I have my DJ Paul Juicy J feature on
Okay.
on the production.
Okay.
And I'm gonna do something like we've done something like this in the past where we've taken songs from other projects and we put them on this one.
Mhm.
Project Pat fans, forgive me, but I want to take Whole Lot of Weed from Mr. Don't Play and put this on here.
Okay.
I think that shit would be so fire with Bun B and Pimp C. And the last like little section of it where the beat kind of changes, that's where Pimp C could come on and do his verse. You could still have excuse me, that's where Project Pat will come on and do his verse.
Okay.
You would still have Project Pat on the hook. You can even add like a reference to lean if you want to.
Mm.
Instead of calling the song like Whole Lot of Weed, it could just be like Whole Lot. So it could be like Whole Lot of Weed, Lean, Liquor, whatever, right?
Got
Like
it.
just that feel for a track, I think would be so dope.
Yeah.
So, and it doesn't have to be like a single that would be even at the party. You could just have like a video for it, whatever. Just, I don't know.
Mhm.
That's where I would want my DJ Paul, Juicy J production feature. And I don't need Juicy J on the record, even though like I like Juicy J, I like DJ
Right.
Paul, but like
Right.
Project Pat is like that guy.
Yeah.
Kind of, which is funny because I would not have said that at the time. But in retrospect, it's Project Pat.
Yeah, yeah.
I know you sick of the sicker. So that's where I have yeah, that's gonna be my last of the features, last of the additions. Then we're going to Woodwheel.
Mhm.
Woodwheel, and I'm not changing anything for that.
Yeah.
And then I'm Like a Pimp is gonna be my outro.
Okay.
And the reason why is because I feel like oftentimes in these albums, yes, you can have like the last song be like the best song, but you could also kind of have it to be like it doesn't have to really tie into the rest of the album, but it's still a good record. And it's like, oh, it's the one we're sending you off with this song anyway. So
Okay.
that's like I said, I like a Pimp.
Mhm.
If you want DJ Paul and Juicy J on there, they can be. If you don't want them on there, I'm also fine if it's just Pimp C and Bun B. Like I said, I really like the hook. I
Right.
like what they do on it.
Yeah.
And I like Juicy J and DJ Paul on here as well. They don't have to go on there because, like I said, you have your DJ Paul, Juicy J feature in terms of production. They could be on the Like a Pimp as well. It's
Mhm.
all good. But that's how I would tie together the album.
That's
So
what's up.
the main thing I'm doing here is I'm keeping the main structure of the album. I'm rearranging a few pieces.
Mhm.
I'm adding big records with Scarface.
Mhm.
And that doesn't necessarily have to be like a club single, but it could be like good enough to be a radio single. You're definitely going to have a video for it.
Right.
You're giving me Blue Scarface. Y'all know how good Blue Scarface is. There's no
Yeah,
one else who does it better than him.
that's true.
I want you talking about something serious. Bun B is going to have to, anything Bun B needs to say on this record, he's going to deliver. And
Yeah.
Pimp C, obviously, he can contribute as well because we know he can do it.
Mhm.
My like radio single is going to be the Organized Noise feature. I think it's there's enough UGK on there that it works with the rest of this album, and then you also have Organized Noise back when we all for what we don't know that they're about to fall off yet. So it's Organized Noise, it's Sleepy Brown,
Right.
it's good,
Mhm.
and then giving me that like
But wait, you
again,
also
forgive me.
have a Bangladesh record, right?
I thought
Maybe.
about that. I
Okay.
thought about doing.
That's
I don't
also
think there's
good.
enough space to actually put Bangladesh on here.
Gotcha.
But if I wanted to put Luda on here, I would do it with the Bangladesh. I don't think you need them though.
Yeah, I
I
don't
don't
think
think you
they
really need them. I thought about it though.
yeah.
I don't think you need them. If anything, just have a video for Stick 'em Out. Stick 'em Up that's gonna come out before this record does.
Right, right.
Yeah, and then give me Whole Lot of Weed. Like I said, forgive me 3-6 fans and Project Pat fans and Memphis, forgive me, but like
Yeah.
just give me that record, put it on here. And,
Yeah.
oh my God. Look, you have to admit, if you put UGK on that record, that shit would sound fire.
Yeah.
And if you don't want to if you don't want to put a whole lot of weed on this, put UGK on that, and then put that out as a video single.
Yeah.
At the same time, this album is dropping, and then you could do the same. It'll have the same effect that I was talking about.
Right.
But yeah, that would be my album.
I like most of the features between those two groups of people. So I mean, like it's for some reason it just always works. Like I almost wish they started together. You know what I mean? Yeah, they're great.
It's weird because they're from two different parts of the country, but their sound is so pivotal. Like, let's go on a little bit of a tangent. I think we're done wrapping up our Make It a Classic in terms of that, but I want to go on a little bit of a tangent. Trap music.
Yeah.
Who is an artist who, in terms of the layman, we would most attribute to trap music? Who is that?
This was a this was a battle during the COVID era, right? So T.I. says it's him.
T.I. says it's him.
Right? And then Gucci Mane says it's him. I think both are right answers for different reasons.
Okay.
But I would say T.I.
I think they both wrong.
Huh.
I think it's 3-6 and UGK.
Really?
Like, maybe not in terms of subject matter, but in terms of vibe and sound. I think
you're saying the trap sound.
I think they are so responsible for the sound overall.
I think I would say Gucci for the sound.
Maybe.
Yeah.
Nevertheless, though, like I just when trap music became a thing, and people were always talking about T.I. and Gucci, like
because trap is an Atlanta thing.
It is. That's fine. I get it, but like, who were the big artists from Atlanta really coming out with music in the 90s, right? It was Jermaine Dupri, and it was Outkast, Organized Noise, right?
Yeah.
And 3-6 from Memphis is coming out early 90s. UGK from Port Arthur, if we want to loop Houston into that, we can. Early 90s, right? Like
80s.
I think I think trap music borrows a lot of its sound from what I was talking about. I think it borrows a lot of its sound from Memphis and a lot of its sound from Houston, Port Arthur, in my opinion. Not entirely with everything, but just a lot of it. I don't know.
I think, right, it's like everything is influenced by everything that came before it, right? And so, I mean, while trap is an Atlanta thing, those Atlanta artists were influenced by the folks in the South who came before them.
Yeah.
So that makes sense.
I mean, look, I could be talking about my ass too. I'm sure if you're from Atlanta, you'll be like, Outlaw doesn't know what he's talking about. That's fine. I get it. I just I think that there's a lot of music that came out in the late aughts and then the 2010s that is attributed to like trap sound from like T.I. and Gucci, where I'm like,
Mm,
yo, for real, I hear I hear traces of 3 6 and Pimp C.
mhm,
So anyway, I forgot why I even got on that tangent, but it don't even really matter. Anyway, um, that is us making a classic for UGK's Dirty Money.
yep,
This is this. I think this is actually an important album to talk about, just because it's not an album that really ever gets talked about.
that's true.
You know, you might hear people talk about Woodwheel. I don't even hear anybody talk about Home Now. You know what I
Yeah, I
mean?
never heard nobody talk about it.
Yeah.
I heard it myself, and it was similar to Spaghetti Junction
Right.
when we did
Right.
the
Right.
Stankonia. I was just like,
Yeah. Or Noise.
why did nobody tell me that there's
What?
something that sounds this amazing in
I
the
told
world?
you. I told that to
Well, you
you.
told me to listen to the album, but
I
like,
told you, but I told you Spaghetti
yeah,
Junction was dope.
maybe, and maybe I have no idea, you
That's
know what I
fine.
mean? But
That's fine.
in the same way, like, I feel like I'm a fairly knowledgeable music person,
Yeah,
so,
yeah,
like, when it's
you are for
something that
sure.
I've completely overlooked
Gotcha.
that sounds that good, I'd be
Yeah,
mad, like, "How come
yeah.
nobody told me this shit existed?" Like, that's how old it now was.
And I think generally speaking, I just don't hear anybody talking about like, and like no one even talks about Look at Me. Like, it's
That's
just one of
true.
my favorite
That's true.
UGK
You're the
records.
only person I know that really talks about that.
Fucking love that record. It's
Yeah,
amazing.
yeah,
So yeah, anyway, I get it. You know, it's hard to follow Riding Dirty, and I think that when you
yeah.
have Pimp C's legal drama, when
That's
you
also
have
true.
the drama between the record label, when you have music changing, Pimp C doesn't
Yeah,
necessarily want to make a hit record. They
right.
want to keep it underground, but it's just like, does it make sense? Like, why are we going to keep doing music if we're not going to?
Yeah,
But there's a lot of things that are changing, and maybe
that's true.
this album suffered as a result of that. I
Right,
get it,
right.
but there are gems on here. There are good
Mhm.
songs on here, and even like the filler records, like nah, like these records are fine.
Yeah,
You know, there are records that, like I said, that when the whole album is good, because you're listening to it, they just get elevated.
yeah.
I think that if you're listening to this album for the first time, you're like, nah, this shit is whack. I get it, because there are songs on here that just make it bad. And we talked
Mhm.
about
That's
those,
facts.
but
But
anyway.
you're right, like, if this album did, in this era, have 1 or 2 songs that were, like, big songs that people knew,
Mhm.
I think people would look at it differently. Like, I don't
Yeah.
think anybody can listen to this and go, "It's whack." It's
No,
just it doesn't have those records that are
it
gonna
doesn't.
draw you to the album.
No, it
So,
doesn't.
yeah.
Like, for as much as I love Woodwill, for as much as I love Look at Me, they're not singles.
Mm,
You know what I
yeah,
mean? They're not things that are gonna draw like a big crowd. Like I said, I
mhm,
think if you have big Scarface record on here that's
yeah,
taken serious, doesn't have to be like a big hit, but it has to
yeah,
be like a good song. Like,
and
even if
even oh, no.
yeah, I was gonna say, even if you had like a Scarface feature with like a Just Blaze, not at that time,
Mm,
but Just Blaze ended up making Round Here,
mhm,
which is
yeah,
a record that if you tell me that Scarface and UGK wouldn't sound good on Round Here, you don't know what the fuck you're talking about.
right,
They would sound amazing on Round Here.
mhm,
Obviously, that's a little bit more in the future. That's like
yeah,
2004, 2005. But I'm saying, like, there are records where you could have like Scarface and just like a big production sound that sound good with UGK that could be
yeah,
good enough for a video single. That
yeah,
doesn't necessarily have to be a big hit radio,
yeah,
but that would be enough to like just draw ears to this record.
yeah.
You know?
And, to the point of what we talked about with the marketing budget and, kinda getting things out there. As we mentioned, Take It Off was on the Corruptor,
Yeah.
soundtrack. I mentioned the video, but, like, if you I don't know if you saw Corruptor,
No. What is that?
but,
Is that Chow Fat?
right,
Yeah,
yeah,
okay.
so it was that era of these, like, just
Chinese
kinda random, yeah,
gun.
Chinese, like,
Yeah.
he's a tough guy, and he goes out and he beats up a million niggas, and whatever, right? It's fine, it's not a great movie or a bad movie, it's fine, it's just a
It was it
movie in
was
that genre.
it was Chow Fat before it became Jet Li and
Right,
DMX.
exactly, exactly.
Yeah.
When Jet Li took that blueprint and ran with it.
Yeah.
But anyway, there's a scene in Corruptor where like he's looking for this dude and he like goes to a strip club.
Okay. Yeah, exactly.
and Look at Me is the part there.
Take it
So
off.
then or
In
Take It
between.
Off,
Yeah,
I'm
yeah, yeah,
sorry.
that makes sense.
So then
Yeah,
when you watch the Take It Off video, the video is just those clips, but spliced into a music video, and then you see Pimp C kind of rapping with the same background as that scene in the movie.
makes sense.
So
Yeah,
the reason I say that is because like
that was a
it's a
very
fairly
'90s thing to do.
but it's a fairly forgettable
Yeah,
scene in a movie. Like that's not a scene that you need to
it
know
doesn't
that
represent the
movie.
movie.
And the movie doesn't matter either,
Yeah.
right? Like it's not a movie that anybody cares about. So it's
No,
a
you
scene
need
that nobody cares
look,
about in a movie that nobody cares
you need sex and violence sell records, sex and violence sell movies. You know, if you're gonna have like a bullet action thriller, you need ass and titties.
about.
Even if it doesn't make sense, it was like, well, let's put it in a strip club.
Such a but
Obviously.
it's like
That's how it is.
if you're promoting your
Yeah,
album, like it's a very unmemorable moment in an unmemorable movie,
right.
and so it's just like, all right, so what? You need something bigger than that for people to care about the album.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, I don't know. I think we covered it well.
Yep.
Do you have anything else to add?
Likewise, I don't have anything to add.
All right.
All right.
So yeah, so that does it for our Make It a Classic for UGK Dirty Money.
Dirty Money. All right, peace, y'all.
Peace.